Hey, what is up, GHL Ninjas? Today I've got an awesome guest speaker with me today. We're going to do a masterclass on how to get your leads to be of a higher quality for your clients. If you're having that issue with getting the complaint that the leads suck, or I can't get a hold of any of these people, really bring hiring a VA and bringing some of that stuff in-house, the follow-up process can be a great asset to you. And James is the outsource king.
What
I've,
up? What
I've worked with
up?
him in the past. Yeah, welcome. And he's hired a ton of VAs, and they've done like hundreds of thousands of phone calls and booked thousands of appointments. So he's got a pretty good insight on how this whole process works in hiring and training and developing systems and SOPs to get your leads converted. So we're going to try to cram as much into the next hour or so as possible. So welcome, James.
Hey, thank you so much, Brandon. I am going to share my screen, guys, and I'm going to go live with all of this. And so let me go into present mode. So I'm going to run everyone through from start to finish how to hire an appointment setter, an ISA, whatever you want to choose to call it, VA. There's so many different names going around right now in your business. I am going to tailor this more toward Go High Level, since this is the Go High Level Ninjas. And so what I want everyone to do is know that we're going to start from the very beginning. Some of this might seem like basic stuff you may have already done, but just know around, I'd say about the middle point or 3/4 of the way into this video, I have a special Go High Level training on how to literally manage a call center inside of Go High Level, specifically that I've made for Brandon and this group. So the timeline for this video, or my approach today, is going to be recruitment, the first part, training, the second part, implementation and monitoring, the third part, and then performance management and feedback for the fourth and fifth part. So the fourth and fifth part are probably not going to be as heavy as the first two parts. I just want people to know that. And then week 6 being the assessment and action plan. Brandon, can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, it did pause for a second there. Before you proceed, let me go ahead and hit record here so we can give those.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. So we are going to talk about Go High Level and building a call center instead of Go High Level. But before we can do that, so stick around if you're looking to build a call center or appointment setting team and Go High Level. Before we can do that, I want to touch on the basics from the very start. So as I just mentioned, we're going to go through this process. So who am I and why am I here? How did I get started? This is me at an insurance conference. And I had a huge pain and frustration in my business. I was an insurance agent 3+ years ago. I still have an active license. I was generating 50 cent to dollar long form final expense leads, which was crazy because they were super high quality. And I did not have the time to call, nor did I like calling them. And Brandon, am I still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. The video froze with you drinking your coffee. It's kind of funny. So at one point, I had as many as 10 cold callers and appointment setters calling leads for me at one time. So I have built teams fast overnight, and then I've had it all crash down on me because of lack of systems. If I look back then, people even asked me for help on this way, and the path I went down of helping a few hundred different agency partners in different industries these past few years. It's taught me a ton. I've learned a lot working with all kinds of different industries. The first industry I worked with was the mortgage industry, and then it was real estate, followed by contractors. And here's a good little video, a picture. I think Brandon probably can relate to this.
All the time,
So
man.
it's like, I put this in here because I want anyone that sees this or in this training to think to themselves, is this something I can work on and manage an employee, working with someone? And so for the time being, I'm actually going to turn my video off just for a second here, so that way I can just focus on this training instead of seeing myself. So this is not a side project. So I say that because I want to make sure that everyone is ready for doing this in their business. And so when you're going to be working with someone, you want to make sure that you can actually handle training a new person and working with a new employee in your business. So you got to ask yourself, do you have the time and resources available in your business to do this? You're going to be teaching someone from the ground up how to do these tasks. You will be building SOPs. I'm not going to tailor too much for SOPs in this training. And for the most part of this training, it's going to be centered around Go High Level. And if so, if all these things make sense and you can actually work with someone in your business, then it's time for you to hire an appointment setter. This is going to change the way you do things. It is going to require you in the beginning to work longer hours because you're going to be a boss. So am I still coming across okay, Brandon?
Yeah.
Cool.
Loud and clear.
Awesome, man. So how to know if you need one. So you may be ready, but how do you know if you actually need an appointment setter? So I'm going to talk briefly about cold calling just for a second. I don't want to get too far about that. I want to focus on Go High Level. However, if you have the need to cold call and you want to generate some stuff and you want to have a dialer running, this is where you can use an appointment setter. This is how I got started. I got started hiring cold callers in my business. I had thousands of names that needed to be called. I had a large list and I was using a third-party dialer to call through those people. As I mentioned, this presentation will mostly be focused around agency owners who are generating leads. So first, the source matters. What's most important, more important than even the source, is the speed and the number of calls you make per lead. So I shouldn't say more important than the source. Source, speed, and the amount of times you call a lead are going to be the most important thing. I see a lot of people that will talk about, they're going to, schedule 40% of everyone's leads. And I will say this now, and I don't know if I can curse here, or hopefully that's okay. I call bullshit on that because there's no way you can speak on someone's leads if you've never called them and you don't know the source. I'll put that against anything pretty much because the source is what matters. You could have the best source or you could have the worst source. Brandon talked about how we work together. Brandon can speak on this. Brandon, we had 50% at one point for one of your clients that we were booking?
I think we peaked at like 40 to 50% booking rate.
Yep.
Obviously it fluctuates month to month, but it was pretty good. It was high.
And I told Brandon, I said to him, and I'm sharing this for the first time, I guess, live, I don't even feel comfortable posting that because it almost exactly. And so I say that because agency owners, you guys are going to generate leads, and I don't want to set an unrealistic expectation. Your lead quality, I'm going to be frank, it may not be as good as Brandon and probably isn't going to be as high in the beginning because you're still working on what you're doing. Obviously, you might have Brandon's templates if you're in his programs, and that's going to help with your conversions. But just know that some of the numbers you see online are not factual. So I do have to touch on this because I see a lot of people in the marketplace that are using big numbers to attract people, and it's just not realistic. So agency owners, what's happening is you're generating leads, your clients are not calling them, and then the clients say that the leads suck. There is no accountability. And I say that because welcome to 2021, where there is lack of accountability with many different people. And you may have tried automation, and then automation worked for a little. You could be missing out on an additional 10 to 20% of booked appointments. So Brandon, the automator, I don't want to go against the automation factor, but
It's
I will say,
complimentary.
I will say this. It is complimentary. I know it's your name, and I've worked with Brandon, and this isn't meant to sound offensive to him at all. I do have to, put that little statement.
How dare you, James?
Well, wait till what I say first.
I'm just messing with you.
Automation is making some of you marketers lazy. I'll say that. And I'm not saying that about Brandon at all. I have to preference that. What I'm saying is some marketers are just sitting there and they're like, I'm just going to run automation and I'm never going to do any manual tasks. And what that's doing is it is making you lazy and not making you think, how can I improve the performance of things in my business? People are smart. Humans can tell when they're receiving automation. Now, that being said, a lot of the stuff Brandon is teaching with automation and, how he's setting up things in the funnels and automating membership stuff and all kinds of other stuff and sequences for emails, extremely important as well. But just having that, I do not believe is enough. So the benefits of having an appointment setter and proper SOPs, it's a fast lead response time. We had a consistent under 5 minutes calling leads in the past 2 years, managing upward of 30 plus clients at certain times. When I say 30 plus clients, that is 30 marketers and their clients. So it's even higher than that. So 30 users, I guess you could say. Booking appointments for your clients, being what you're all here for, and the magic that occurs when someone other than you picks up the phone, calls the lead that you generated inside the high level. So that's what I'm going to focus on today. This is going to help increase your client retention. Clients will stay with you longer when you add more perceived value to your service. I just got the phone with another client on Tuesday, and that is where I created this price right here. And he told me that he is upselling our service for $1,000 to $1,500. He is a done-for-you client. We've been working with done-for-you clients for the past 3 years. And so he's able to charge his clients an extra $1,000 to $1,500, which allows him to make a little bit of money off our service and also raise the price of his service. So I say, if you have an appointment setter, instantly your service is worth more. So here's a few things that I have seen over the past few years. When we first started, if you could generate a lead online, that was cool. That was awesome. You were like the online god, so to speak. You were generating leads. You're the online king. They were cool. They were cheap. They were high quality. It worked. What I've noticed over the past 3 years is the lead quality diminished in some markets, in many markets really, and you had to work the leads harder. Marketers added automation. This helped a lot until I mentioned it made some people lazy. Automation plus appointment setters or plus ISAs is the way to go. Auto booked appointments were awesome when it first happened. Humans are smart and the market is sophisticated. Many can tell when they're receiving automated texts and emails. It does work. I also like manual activity in combination. I don't like just manual work. That's why I said, I'm not a big fan of just 100% cold calling. What I like is manual ISA work, VAs, plus automation. The combination is the magic formula. Phone call and SMS appointment setters fill the human void. Call reminders for appointments keep prospects ready and excited for their call. What I mean by that is a call reminder prior to your actual appointment. So I'm actually going to skip over some of this stuff because I want to focus on the Go High Level stuff the most. So if you see something and you're like, hey, he didn't cover it too much, just know it is because I want to tailor this more toward Go High Level than some basic stuff that is here. So where do I find people? Online jobs and running Facebook ads is what we're using right now. If you want my affiliate, I have an affiliate link. That's the only plug I'm going to say for some affiliate stuff that's related to online jobs. I've hired many. I fired many. I noticed some of the biggest things I got hung up on were where to find the best people. Anyone that's watching this, that's like, oh, I heard South America's like the best place now, or oh, I heard wherever. Let me tell you this. If you have been sitting in your business and you have not hired anyone and you're still trying to figure out where the best place to hire someone, and you've been thinking about this for 3 months plus, at this point, I don't care where you go, just take action in your business. I've seen this time and time again, especially with scripts, where people will try to perfect everything instead of taking the action. Execute, fail, adapt, and implement. So let me tell you this, online jobs, one of our clients within the first week of working with us, second week of working with us, first week was preparation and everything. Second week of working with us, he's already doing job interviews. He's in his 4th week now. He's already had an employee that's worked for him for over, I believe, a week and a half now. And he's already paid her for the first week. And he has someone in his business who is now answering phone calls, answering emails, and appointment setting for him. And it's only in the 4th week, and we're going into the 5th week, I guess, next Monday. And that's from online jobs. So I will speak on that. There's always exciting new things that people are going to do. Time and tested that I like, onlinejobs.ph. That's all I'm going to say on that. So your job post, this is a sample job post. I did want to include this just to make this easy for people. So once again, that you don't get hung up on what to say. So appointment setter, it says appointment setter software sample job post. It shouldn't say software there, sorry. So you will need to list the software that will be needed for the candidate. So the subject line is going to read market and agency appointment setter for a growing company. You want to use some ad copy to get more interest. And so in the actual post, you can say, hi, I'm looking for an all-star appointment setter with telemarketing experience, cold calling experience, a must. You must have a steady plus reliable connection and USB headphones. USB headphones is going to be very important, especially when you are using dialers. English speaking and writing a must. And then it goes on to say, please include the word avocado in your subject line when replying. Brandon, did you do this at one point when you were hiring your person?
I did. And I know you very briefly glanced over it that they need to have a stable internet connection. I just experienced where we had to swap out an assistant because her internet was down for like almost a whole week.
Yeah.
And like we didn't ask that question, I guess, up front. So that was my bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. Good that you asked that. But yeah, I used Purple Monkey though. Just something weird, you know, for the subject line reply because you want it to stand out, you know.
Yep. And then we also ask people to do a video recording of themselves, introducing themselves and their experience. So the video recording is going to be important because that way when they actually show up to the actual interview. So first video recording, and then on the interview, that is video as well. And that makes sure that the actual person attending the interview is the same person that sent you the recording and not a recruiter. Recruiter is going to waste your time. Recruiter is going to, tell you they're going to find you someone. They've got these like VA pimps in the Philippines, as I call them, and they just, it's a fucking shit show. And so stay away from that. You want the actual person that sends you a video and to be the person that you interview. If they give you any issue on this, move on, not a good candidate. I've had girls, or women, I should say, women that actually got dressed up for a video interview. That's how much they cared about being on video interview with me. So you do want to set up an interview time, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So once you have your candidate who has followed the instructions, they sent you a video, they've mentioned the word avocado. We like to do a video interview to avoid the recruiters, of course. On the interview, you want to have set questions that you ask the person. A set time and date for your interview is important. So you want to make sure that you have an actual set time for the actual interview. You want to make sure you have a set date, set time, and it can be done over Zoom and Skype. So I mentioned I want to get into a lot of the Go High Level stuff that's going to come up in just a second. If you're watching for the Go High Level stuff, do not worry. I will get to that stuff. So interview questions. So the interview questions guideline we keep is what's called the STAR method. S being for situation, T being for task, A being for action, R being for results. So situation is going to be an event or challenge that they faced. Task being their responsibility and assignment for the situation. A being the action and the steps, the procedure you followed to handle the situation. R being the results or actions taken from this method. And so let me back up. Some example STAR questions. Tell me a time when you had a conflict with your employer and how were you able to resolve it? Why do you think I should hire you? If one of your coworkers tells you things that you need to improve on, what do you think it would be? Let's get started. So training first week with your appointment setter. So the overview for this training is going to cover software like Go High Level. It's going to cover software like Time Doctor. It's going to cover Loom, Skype, a whole bunch of things. So software saves lives. Software needed. First, you are going to need a dialer. If you're using a CRM like High Level, you can access the dialer inside of it. And we will need to create a lead management flow, which I will create the flow. I don't see in the group, Brandon, have we had anyone list their industry that they're in?
Oh, I totally forgot to ask that. But yeah, if you're watching this right now, go ahead and comment on the live and let us know what industry you're in. So, but yeah, go ahead. I'll let you know if somebody.
Awesome. So for the sake of it, I'm going to stick with the mortgage. And so some of this is going to be tailored around mortgage. So, and I will show the flow in a later slide. So some dialer options. I like to keep it, excuse me, I like to keep it simple for dialers. On top of Go High Level, I will use dialers like Ring Central or DialPad. These dialers are anywhere from $15 to $30, and they have a mobile app. I think that needs to be touched on. If you are using Go High Level, which is a web-based app, obviously they do have an iOS app. I know that they have a dialer on the app, and your person loses internet connection. What I like about Ring Central or DialPad is you are able to then use the cell network if you lose Wi-Fi and still call leads for your clients. So for Loom, this is going to be used to teach and record videos for your appointment setters and your employees. These videos, you then will give access to them and they can review them later without having to ask you a million questions. And you can just send them the video so they have the training.
Real quick,
Yes.
James.
What's up?
Credit repair and landscape design. So
Okay.
credit repair sort of falls in line with mortgage in a couple ways.
Okay.
So, but yeah, credit
Okay.
repair would be a good one.
So give me one
But
second. I want to make sure we ran a little late and I'm going to run over my next call. So I want to make sure
no
I
worries.
discard.
And Loom is awesome. Like you can basically, if you want them to perform a certain task, you can Loom it and then attach it to the SOP and have them build the SOP. Like that's typically what I do with my assistant.
Yep.
And it just
So
makes it easy to reference,
I'm going to do one for credit. We said credit repair and landscape.
Landscape design. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So whoever's landscape design, if you are doing outdoor living, we're working with an outdoor living client right now. And so I can also tailor some stuff that we have worked with him on for some messaging. So, and I'll also do credit repair since someone here is for credit repair. And I'll break that down from mortgage to credit repair to landscape design for text and leads and also for some script stuff. Let me see something. Oh, I apologize. I'm actually good for that. I'm actually good for the next hour. Brandon, is that we're good?
Yeah.
We're good though?
Yeah, dude. That's cool.
Cool.
I canceled my next appointment.
Awesome. Me I was updating my VAs because we had this whole tech thing and I thought I was running over, and it's actually 1 o'clock EST that I run back to back until 4 o'clock. Crazy day. So sorry for the little bit distraction there. Time management software. This is huge, guys. This is huge. If you have a virtual assistant, when you're hiring and they do not want to be on a time management software, they give you a million excuses, move on. Do not hire that person. Time Doctor is what we use. If you want a Time Doctor and save some money, I have an affiliate link for that as well. Like I said, I'm not here to promote affiliates. I'm here to give you guys this training. So Time Doctor, your employees must understand that you will be monitoring their time using the time tracking software. And this is how you pay for the hours that they work. You don't ask them at the end of the day or end of the week, hey, how many hours do you work? You're going to pay them based on how much time Time Doctor says that they worked. Are there other programs like Hubstaff? Yes. Are there other time tracking software? Yes. We use Time Doctor. I like Time Doctor. It's been efficient, has a good user interface, and it's been reliable for me. CRM management, jump into the meat and potatoes. As I mentioned, we got a credit repair person, mortgage, landscape. I'm making this up on the fly, the script that I'm going to do for each person here, credit repair and landscaping, mainly because I'm not making it up for mortgage, because Brandon knows that we did a program one time where what was it, Brandon? We had called 5,000 mortgage leads at the time, and we created a program based around that. At one point. Can you hear me? Am I good still, Brandon?
Yeah.
Cool. So CRM management workflow, 0 to 100 real quick. So I don't care where the lead comes from. Obviously, I care about the source, but for the sake of the CRM and the workflow, I do not care where the lead source comes from. Email, Facebook, direct mail, referral, obviously Facebook being the main one, probably YouTube and Google being the second, and website generated being the third. So the lead goes into a spreadsheet. From there, that lead is sent to a shared email account. You can turn on push notifications on your employee's computer. And so that way it comes across their screen. I just had a push notification come across my screen right now. And so that way they notify that a new lead is in. Your VA, ISA, your appointment setter has access to the spreadsheet. An example subject line, this is for roofing, I'll tailor this for outdoor living or landscape design and credit repair. It would say something like new lead, John, landscape design. So the VA knows what campaign it's in for. New lead, Mike, credit repair. I can't see the person who's credit repair, so sorry if I'm getting the name wrong. You can customize this inside of Zapier, and the spreadsheet will also be named. So you're going to name the spreadsheet based on your campaign. So if it's, Rick's Landscape Company, you'd put Rick's Landscape Company. If it's Brandon Mortgage, you put Brandon's Mortgage. So this way, everything's organized in the spreadsheet. You know exactly what it relates to for your client. So if you have multiple clients that are credit repair, then you'd have like John, credit repair, Mike, credit repair. So that way you can keep track of their leads. Zapier is going to fire the lead to each spreadsheet. You want to keep everything separate for your clients now. Lead info in the email will include whatever the subject and whatever the whatever the parameters are for your lead that you're getting. So if you're doing short form, it's going to be name, email, phone number. If you are doing long form, as many marketers like to call, long form leads, so to speak, what you will do is you will map all the fields. I can go off memory right now. Some things that a lot of mortgage people will do: name, email, phone number. At one point it was credit score. Now I think it's like the word choice, because Facebook's always changing parameters. Are they working with the realtor? Timeline. And then you can do other questions as well. So the questions are not really that as important for right now. What is important is that you map the fields so that way your VA can ask those questions on the phone. Google Sheet is going to have a column, and you're going to map the columns. So that way, when you have new leads come in, they all start adding up and organizing. So the names and all the info, what would that be called? Horizontally, and then vertically is going to be the parameters of the actual lead.
And that's just to iterate the importance of the confirmation. So basically, the appointment setter is confirming all the information to the long form answers that they received. So it actually helps validate that phone call, and it basically communicates to that potential prospect that, hey, this is serious. Like, oh, they actually looked at what I filled out, and they just confirm all that information. So your credit score, when you're looking to buy a home, where you're looking to buy a home, all that stuff, they ask that and verify it. And I think I have a theory that increases the show rate,
Yes.
because you've actually validated the information.
Yep. And I'm also going to dive deep in that as well. So, and it's going to come up on a later slide about scripting. I am going to talk about Go High Level just real quick, since we're on the CRM management talk. So right now, Go High Level overview. I want to keep this detailed, oriented. I want to go deep with this. So some of the stuff that I mentioned may not necessarily be on a slide. And that's why you should definitely listen up right now about putting this inside of your Go High Level account, using an ISA to create an in-house call center. Also call forwarding, and then ISA text messaging. For some of our clients, we are doing text messaging appointments, 100% text messaging, not even calling leads for them. So I know this is, call center based, but I did want to touch on that. So I can't even tell today. Go High Level call center using an ISA. The first thing is going to be a script check. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a script slide in just a minute for, I think it was Tim said he was doing landscape design and credit repair. So I'll tailor a script based around that, and I'll make it up on the fly right now for you, Tim. So Tim, if you're still on here, just know that I'm going to make a script for you on the fly. So for your ISA, you are going to have a script check first. You want to make sure that they understand the script and that they rehearse the script. So your ISA or appointment setter, you want to make sure that they know what's going on with this script. You want to listen to their calls. You want to make sure that they actually know what they're doing. Are they getting hung up on things? You want to check the numbers weekly and monthly for spam filters. What do I mean by this? This is something that I mentioned to my coaching students. This is something that I'm not here to play the blame game. Is it Go High Level? Is it Twilio? Is it this or that? What I'm here for is results for your clients. So, as business owners, we get paid in proportion to the problems that we solve. So If you have a call center or an appointment setter and they're making phone calls from a dialer, from, obviously I'm telling this for Go High Level, and Go High Level's number is coming up as spam or robocaller, that's not going to get picked up more than likely. So this is why you need to have your ISA call your phone with the dialer right before you start, even calling leads. We just did this yesterday. We just brought on a roofing client for our Done For You agency. And as part of our SOP, my ISA, she called me, and then I said, hey, what's showing up is, Virginia 570, I think was the area code. And that's showing up correctly. And so then she's like, okay. And then she can cross it off the list that the number is working. Like I said, I'm not here to play a blame game. Is it Go High Level or Twilio? What I'm here for is to make sure people pick up the phone when your ISA calls. So this is something you need to be doing either weekly or monthly to test your phone numbers, as we call it. Also, talking about numbers, you also need to be looking at how many calls your person or your ISA is making. So you want to have a good call indicator. Good call indicator is definitely going to be minimum for me at least. I mean, I'm going very low right now, minimum 100 calls during a normal working day. Should be much, much higher than that, but minimum 100 calls. If someone's not getting 100 calls in, there's something going on.
How many kind of rock star make? Like, what are your top people?
It's interesting, man. I want a minimum of 100. A rock star could make 300 plus, but I don't want that because that tells me that they're actually not talking to someone. So if they're talking to someone, it might be even 150. However, they're scheduling appointments. So if you talk to someone, an appointment might take 5 or 10 minutes. 10 minutes is really long, to be honest, but an appointment, like a true appointment, is probably going to take around 3 to 5 minutes. And so, I would say, minimum 100, and then a rock star is going to knock out 300, but this isn't about volume. This is about quality.
Okay. So quality should be like closer to 150 to 200 if they're booking appointments. So the rock star is actually 150 to 200. It's not.
Sure. Yeah.
The hyperactive dude is 300 who's not talking to nobody.
And they're not talking to anyone. And you'll find VAs that will waste time just making phone calls, or they'll hang out on voicemail. That was like a crazy thing that I learned, like virtual assistants that were like hanging out on voicemail and not like hanging up the call because they were getting paid a portion of the calls they made. And I had this one person.
Sneaks. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, we caught this one girl, and she hung out on someone's voicemail for like an hour, and I was like, all right, there's some shit going on here. And so anyways, an example, you want a call flow, so you will need a call flow. And so this is centered around Go High Level. I'm trying to center this around your audience, the people that are mentioned. I got the Facebook video open right now. So if there's any other niches that are watching, put your niche in the chat. And I'm going to do my best to help answer some questions. So example call flow, let's say that you're running a mortgage lead, and I am going to literally go all the way down the process into credit repair right now. Specifically, this is something that we created. If Tim is still watching, Tim, if you're here, give a thumbs up or something. If you watch this later, Tim, we actually created a process with one of our mortgage brokers that we were able to, how do I say this? It was a soft credit pull. Obviously, hard credit pull we're not doing. Soft credit pull with automation using a Zapier webhook. And so I'm going to walk through how this looked using an ISA right now. So you're running a mortgage lead, and I'm also going to tailor around Brandon and mortgage stuff. So this is not planned, by the way. This is, what I wanted to do for this. I wanted to freestyle this. So Brandon is generating a mortgage lead, and the lead comes in. It goes into Go High Level. More than likely, Brandon has his automation trigger set up. I love it. It's letting them know, hey, someone's going to call you within the next 5 minutes. You have an ISA or you have an appointment setter. That automation, that email, that text message maybe has already gone out. That ISA is picking up the phone. They're on a headset. They're on their headset. They're logged into the Go High Level software. They have the script on their screen. They already know the script. They're calling the lead within the first 5 minutes. The ISA puts notes inside of the Go High Level. And there's a notes section in the Go High Level. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough room to put a screenshot here. I wanted to put a screenshot of what that looks like. and they're going to put the outcome of the call. If it's routed to voicemail, they're going to put routed to voicemail. If it's an appointment, they're going to put the appointment and the time. And so back up just a second, because I wanted to talk about if the person needs credit repair. So the person needs credit repair. We have a way that we can actually send it to the credit repair person in the form of either automation or a live transfer. So what we can do is the mortgage lead, if the person meets the credit repair needs, it will actually get sent to a soft credit pool. Then from there, that person consents to the information and they hit submit. I forget how it looks exactly, technology wise, but that person hits submit. Then we get the information. And then instead of scheduling the appointment for a mortgage broker, we're actually shifting, because we know based on where the lead goes and what spreadsheet it goes to, we know, oh, this is a credit repair lead. So we're either calling it for mortgage or credit repair. And I'll go into the script in a later slide. This is more the flow of how it goes. And so that lead gets sent over to a credit repair person. Credit repair, specifically for mortgage, can take 6 to 9 months sometimes that we'll see for it to convert into an actual closed deal. And so then it gets added to follow-up sequence. The ISA checks the leads daily to call to see if the lead responded to SMS. This is something that's important. If the lead's saying, hey, what's up? Who are you? You can convert this either into an SMS appointment or you can keep on calling them. That's, personal choice. We do both, to be honest with you. We'll try texting. We'll also try calling. So what's also extremely important here is the ISA calls at different times. So you want to make sure your person isn't always calling all the leads at 9 a.m. Try 12, try 3, try 6 o'clock at night. People are going to pick up at different times of the day. That person may have been filling out the lead when they were driving or they're in the bathroom at work or whatever. And then all of a sudden, if you call them the same time every day, if they're at work, they're not going to pick up the phone. So you got to call these people at different times of the day. I think that's, vital to tell your audience that. So call forward and basics. So I wanted to keep this just basic. If you have Go High Level and you have call forward and turned off, it is not going to send the lead anywhere. And when the people call back, I shouldn't say lead. It's not, the phone call is not going to go anywhere when they call back. It's going to show up as a missed call. Sure, you can have automation. If you put a call forward and number for your client, the chances that you annoy your client are probably going to be pretty high, because then all of a sudden, you've got an ISA or whoever calling the leads. And then when the people call back, which people do, then all of a sudden your client's phone rings and then they might not have any clue what's going on. So how we solve this and the solution is using another dialer. Like, I know this is a free group here, but this is literally something that Brandon probably could have charged for this training and the other trainings, myself included. Using another dialer plus an ISA plus Go High Level is the combination for this. And how that works is Go High Level, it's going to have a call forward number for the other dialer. So you put the call forward number as your ISA's number inside of the other dialer. So let's just use Ring Central. So Ring Central, let's say we have a number 123 and Go High Level is 234. Someone calls back 234, call forwards to the 123 number. Your ISA is logged into both. They can pick up the live phone call inside of Ring Central. And now you have a process of where you have an inbound answering service. So inbound, what's up?
I was gonna just add the inbound calling is not currently available on GHL, but from my understanding, it's on the roadmap. Cool. So that you might be able to eliminate the whole needing a third-party software to take those inbound calls.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Obviously,
but this is where we're at now.
Yeah. So inbound script, just sticking with our landscape person now, I'll go back to that. Hey, you've called Mike's landscaping service recently. You had filled out something on Facebook. I see. Is this John? You have their information in front of you. You can look it up on the fly. I know you're using a different dialer at the current point, so you're gonna have to look it up, the number. You may say, who am I speaking with? Oh, this is John Smith. You guys called me. And then hopefully you're in front of your computer, at least your ISA is in front of the computer. Oh, hey, John Smith, I see that you were recently on our Facebook page and that you had filled out that you were looking for a new, I'm trying to think of a landscaping thing. You were looking for a new tree in your backyard. Oh yeah. I'm looking for a cherry blossom tree. Okay, great. And so I'm going to go in the script in just a second, but I'm covering the call part, and then I also want to
Mhm.
touch on the SMS part. I left this slide blank. I don't know who's watching right now, but anyone watching right now, if you're in any other niches, put your niche in here, and then I'm going to do this on the fly. So just sticking with mortgage and credit repair, this is what we did in a beta test last month for one of our clients. We were able to schedule 13 additional appointments on her calendar. We're not even going super hard with this. We're only responding to people that respond to automation. So we're not even texting everyone. We're only texting people that respond to automation. What we are doing is lead comes in, email goes out, automation goes out in the morning time as well, because you don't want to be texting or emailing these people late at night. It goes out around 7 or 8 o'clock. If the lead comes in overnight, lead responds back, yeah, I'm interested. Let's say that automation says, I want to set up a time to talk with you. This is our program for, the teacher's home buyer program. And the person responds back, oh, I'm interested in this. ISA then goes inside, they text the person back, hey, are you available in the morning or the afternoon for tomorrow? Something like that. So I'm loosely phrasing this. What we'll use is, are you available 3 o'clock tomorrow? You can be very direct. I'm going to give less than more, so that way people aren't only hung up on one specific way to do it, and they're like, oh, it didn't work, and James said it would work. So
Damn it, James.
yeah, right. You try something one time, and it's the person
Sure.
that taught you's fault. So this really, truly, and I got to give credit to my man, Dan Henry, one of my teachers, that says, it's like losing your keys. Sometimes it's not in the first place that you look. So with this, you want to try different things. We're constantly testing different things. So you could put, hey, I have availability with Mike tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Does that work? Or you might want to say, hey, I have availability tomorrow at 2 or 5 o'clock. Which one would you prefer? There's a million different ways you can say that. If it's a credit repair person, you may see the person has like poor credit, and you can confirm with them, hey, I see here your credit score is less than, I'm trying to think, poor credit would be less than 520 or even below. Maybe even that's, too high. Probably not though. So
I think
poor credit,
620. Yeah.
620 and below. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that person, and it's the parameters that you set. So you got to send them the credit repair. And so you may say to them, hey, look, I am going to send you to my credit specialist, Tim. Tim has availability tomorrow at 1 o'clock and Thursday at 4 o'clock. Which one's better for you? Oh, Thursday at 4. And then your ISA goes in there, and your ISA schedules the appointment. There is no phone call ever made. For the sake of this presentation, I want to stick to also calling, but I did want to talk about ISA's scheduling text message appointments. I literally made this custom for Brandon because I know Brandon loves automation, and I know he loves using the Go High Level software. Fill in your client's calendar. So I want to talk about quality over quantity. I like to reference what I see in the marketplace and what I think is going to be better. In the marketplace, I see a ton of people that are talking about, 100 appointments guaranteed a month, all kinds of crazy stuff. And what I want to tell you is we have a client right now, and they are in the contractor space. And I just said it out loud on another training that I was on yesterday. So I'm going to say it now. With automation and my service, we scheduled 90% of his leads into appointments. Now, I need to preference this before everyone says bullshit or whatever. It was not good to schedule 90% leads. 70% was automation, 20% was us. Sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes it's like 20% us, 10% automation. I've never seen 90% before. And I had to look at this, and his client was overloaded. I'm talking someone that's scheduling almost 80 to 90 appointments a month. We're scheduling for this guy. It was crazy. So I want to talk about the importance of quality versus quantity real quick. If you schedule too many appointments for your client and they cannot handle it, there is a possibility you will lose that client as well. I know it sounds crazy. There is also a possibility you're going to annoy your client. So this is where quality comes in. This is where a perfect example of where we actually started to remove automation because of how high the booking rate was. I have someone telling me, hey man, inside of the Go High Level, we're scheduling like 60 to 70% appointments a month. Our client can't handle this. Can you guys actually cancel appointments based on their need? So we started going in there. We started asking people. This is for I'm not going to reveal the niche, but this is for buildings that we were building for people. So we started asking people if they had land available. We started asking people if they had. It's kind of crazy. We're asking people this. We're like, do you have at least $100,000 to put down? I don't want people going after this niche, so I'm not going to say this niche. And so we were asking people, literally, if they didn't have good credit, we weren't even taking them on. And so we were telling them also they needed to have at least $100,000 down in order to work with our client. And so we started canceling appointments, and it was awesome doing this. And so we've done this before in the course industry. So if you happen to have a coaching program or a course, and you might say, well, I don't know if I need appointment setters for that. Well, guess what? One of our first clients ever was Mr. Bobby Stocks. I love to give shout outs to people that, I worked with. Bobby Stocks was one of our first clients. He gave us a shot when we were early on. I worked with Patrick Phillips. If Patrick sees this, good friend of mine, and we helped them. We've not helped them. We were part of helping generate 5 figures in sales from our end. Obviously, they made way more than that, from their end. And it was 100% follow up on old leads of people that had said, "Hey, you know what? I got to think about it." And we went to those people that had to think about it, and then we followed up with them, and we let them know, "Hey, we're following up with you. We want to put you back on Patrick Phillips' calendar." And then some people said, "Hey, I'm not interested still." Some people said, "Delete me." Some people, a few percent, said, "Hey, oh man, I've been meaning to get back to Patrick." They got on the phone with Patrick, and they either paid in full for a $5,000 course, or they went on a payment plan. And so that's a win for me. And so we also cancel appointments for course owners if people don't meet the quality of the appointment. So the way that works is a new lead comes in, notification, a new lead or a new appointment would come in. We would get that info. We would call the people. And so I did want to tailor this to the people that are watching. And sorry about that, got a little sidetracked. Mortgage. So new lead comes in for mortgage, or even a new appointment for mortgage. So let's say you only want to send your client good mortgage appointments that were scheduled by automation, and you want to make sure that they're high quality. So mortgage appointment comes in, and ISA follows the screen, and they follow the script on the screen, I should say. They look at Brandon's availability. So Brandon's availability says he's available at 4 o'clock tomorrow and 6 o'clock, and they call the lead and they follow the script. So let's say they're scheduling only the quality ones, and they call someone, they say, "Hey, it shows here that your credit score is 700. Is that correct?" "No, I'm actually a 540. And let's say Brandon doesn't want to talk to someone that's 540 right now, because the mortgage market right now is definitely not the time for people with credit repair. It's time for people that, have cash, can move fast, and are okay with paying over asking price. So Brandon says, with his ISA, "I don't want to talk to anyone below 620. I don't want to work with them. And please send them to my credit repair person, so that way they're not on his calendar and he's willing to work with them at a later date. I don't want to say, we're ignoring credit repair people." So then the credit repair person, I'll use Tim Miller, for example, because he's credit repair. Then we're using Tim Miller's calendar for credit repair people based on the parameters that we set below 620. And if they have above 620 and they confirm that info, we're scheduling it with Brandon. So, we're calling the lead. We see that it's a good fit. They do have a 700 credit score. We're going to follow the script, and we're going to tell them, "Hey, and I'll show the script in the next slide." And so we're going to follow that script. We're going to book the appointment. We're going to confirm the time based on their calendar. So it's either, Tim Miller's or Brandon Wong's calendar. We're going to, confirm that time. We're going to end the call. and then we're going to book the appointment in the calendar. We're not going to book the appointment in the calendar on the call. Brandon, I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to ask or add about this.
To even make it more powerful, if you have an automation that basically you can build a workflow in GHL that 1 hour prior to the appointment, you can send them a text like, hey, please respond with a yes if you're still going to make this appointment. If not, it will be auto canceled, because we have a lot of people who need our help right now. And that elevates your perceived value of your client, because like, oh crap, this guy's busy, like he's helping a lot of people. And it makes them, whenever, what I've seen is whenever somebody replies with yes, they show up. Like, and if they say no, then the system's going to just automatically pull them out. Like, you don't need to, and then try to reschedule them another time, put them back into the cycle. But that extra automation can even, like, turbocharge what James is talking about. I did, to help make it easier.
Yep. And Brandon did that for my call today, and I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was amazing. I actually saw it for the first time when I had signed up for this course. It's irrelevant, the course, and it's irrelevant the person, but I had signed up to book a call with this course and their sales team, and they like sent an email that I had to respond to. And it basically said, is there any other parties, or is it just going to be you? And I had to respond to if it was going to be me or my spouse was going to join them. I'm not married. And so, or a business partner. And I had to respond, it's just me. And I thought that was like so huge.
That's
Dude.
killer, dude.
Oh,
Because that's
dude.
like a close. I'm gonna slam that door before I'm gonna close that door before you even get on the phone with me. You can't
Yep.
use that on me.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And so, using that kind of automation in that way, I think is awesome.
No.
So let's get into script building. I wanted to cover the Go High Level stuff. I didn't want to like leave anyone about Go High Level, waiting around until the very, very end. So I wanted to kind of put it in the middle, or, we're about 3/4 of the way in, guys. So script building is going to be an intro of who you are. So this is already pre-tailored for mortgage. I will tailor it for landscape design as well. I'll do that on the fly. I'm freestyling this right now. Mr. Tim Miller, whoever you are, I haven't met Tim before, so I'm going to give you a whole landscaping script that I'm going to make on this call for you. So hopefully you get to see this and hopefully you enjoy it. So we'll start with mortgage first, and then I'm going to do landscape design second. So intro, who you are. So this is just going to be short intros, and then on the next page is the actual whole script I'm going to make. And so I'm going to go back and forth. After I finish mortgage, I'll go back again and I'll do landscape design. So intro, who you are. So you want to introduce yourself and who you are. Hi, this is James, your mortgage specialist. Very clear. The fact that you're calling within the first 5 minutes is so crucial. Once again, I need to preference this. Could you sit around and hire copywriters and sit around and make the best script ever? I'm sure. Will it convert better than mine? I don't know. Let me tell you this, the person that calls the leads faster, even if they have an accent, is going to outbeat the American that's, writing out their script and, listening to audiobooks on script writing. Execution beats everything of delayed action. Imperfect action wins every single time. So you want to state also the purpose of the call. I'm calling because you were on our Facebook page and you had filled out your information. So now we're letting them know why we're calling. I probably could have done a whole masterclass on this too, Brandon, right? Script building. And you want to confirm their lead info. So I want to get yeses. I'm not to the point yet. I'm listening to something about asking about no's. I don't want to do that on a confirmation call, but that's something I'm starting to think about, asking no open-ended questions that will come with no. But I don't want to get too far into that. I like to go yeses currently right now, but I also like to tell people some stuff I'm testing. That's the only reason I mentioned that. So confirm the lead info. I see here that you were looking for a home in the Tampa Bay area. Is that correct? Yes. I see here that you're looking for a 2-bedroom. Is that correct? Yep. I see here that you're looking to purchase within the next 3 to 6 months. And also that your credit score is 720. Is this all correct? Yep, that all is correct. I just filled that out on Facebook. Awesome, great. Client availability. Our mortgage specialist, so you can insert any niche here. Our mortgage specialist is available. We want to give 2 options or 2 different days. I like to go only 24 hours out. If they say they're not available within 24 hours, that's when I give two options. So let's just pretend it's 24 hours out. So I'm going to give two options for time. Our mortgage specialist is available at 2 o'clock tomorrow or 4 o'clock. Which one's better for you? 4 o'clock works perfect. All right, great. So if they say they're not available 24 hours out, then we can say our mortgage specialist is available either Monday or Wednesday of next week. Which one works better for you next week? Wednesday is probably going to be a better day because Monday, I'm paraphrasing stuff right now. I'm just making this up. Monday, I have to take my kids to school or whatever the reason is. Okay, Wednesday's great. Are you more of a morning person or afternoon? Morning works best. All right, great. Our mortgage specialist, Brandon, has time. Now we go to the time. So now we've actually got a time. Our mortgage specialist, Brandon, has time at either 10 o'clock in the morning or 11:30 a.m. Which one works better? Let's do the 11:30. All right, great. So after that, we're getting off the phone call quickly. After I have the time and my team knows the time, they have the client's calendar on the screen so they can already see what the time is and what the availability is. So I need a preference when you are calling these leads, you want to have the client's calendar open. So that way the actual time is available. There's nothing worse than having to call someone back after you've told them a specific time and then you're having to rebook them. People are going to cancel. It doesn't look good for the client. And so you want to make sure the actual time is available. So we're going to book the call after the appointment.
Real quick,
So
real
yeah, go
quick
ahead.
on that slide, can I add just a quick couple landmines to avoid?
Yep.
So if you're in the mortgage space or any other kind of heavily regulated space, it's likely you'll want to run this by your compliance department and just make sure it's kosher with them. For instance, my one of my clients they just didn't want the person calling the appointment setter representing themselves as an employee of the mortgage company because they were not their an appointment setter, so just be cognizant of that, and just have them to keep the factual statements and not giving advice like mortgage advice, because then you don't want them acting like a mortgage loan officer. They're really just they're an order taker. So
Yep.
just wanted to give you that on top of this slide.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, and I'm glad Brandon preferences that because compliance is a thing for specific industries. Mostly being mortgage for this case presentation. And one of the biggest things, and I'm glad you mentioned that, one of the biggest things is we never want to act on behalf of the mortgage person, the perceived intention that we are the mortgage person. So when someone asks a specific mortgage question, and this is like a
and they will.
so get this. So when someone says, "Oh, well,
What are your rates? Yeah.
I had a bankruptcy in 2008." Oh, I understand that. Well, I'll make sure I let Brandon know, or even just something as simple as, "Hey, all that we can discuss, all that or let me back up. All that our mortgage specialist is going to discuss with you on your call. Please make sure to let Brandon know about that. Unfortunately, I am not licensed, so my responsibility is to get you in touch with our mortgage specialist, who is Brandon Wong, located in the Dallas area. He can answer all your mortgage related questions. So we'll let them know that we're not licensed. My team is very they'll ask something like, "Oh, do you guys need my date of birth?" And they'll be like, "Oh, we're not licensed." So anything that's even remotely close to either HIPAA, super detailed about mortgage stuff, my team is very quick to be like, our mortgage specialist is going to cover that. If someone isn't okay with booking an appointment at that point, they're going to waste Brandon's time anyways, and they're just trying to ask us questions without taking action. So it's like when someone books an appointment with you. If you send them your calendar link and they still want to keep on asking questions and they don't want to get on a call with you, they're probably not going to even take action on that call.
You need people that know how to follow instructions.
Yeah. Same thing on the phone. If you're trying to book an appointment and they're like, "Well, how long is this process going to take? Is Brandon able to complete this loan in under 30 days or less?" It's like, Brandon is our mortgage specialist, and they have a set rebuttal that they'll say, "Brandon's our mortgage specialist. We'll make sure that he answers all your questions. Please make sure to write that question down, or please remember to ask that on your phone call with your appointment for Brandon. Unfortunately, we're not licensed, so we can't answer that question." So you want a preference on that because, you don't want to, give the perceived value of what Brandon said. And so that's really mortgage related, just because mortgage is so heavily regulated now. There's also other industries where obviously you want to remain in compliance, insurance being another one. So I did say I was going to do something for Tim. I did the mortgage script right now, so I knocked that out. And so I wanted to specialize a script for Tim that I'm going to do for landscape design. I will jump back in just a second. We're coming home in the home stretch of this. So everyone wants a magic script. The truth is that you do not need one. Keep it simple, as they say. So this is mortgage related, but I'm going to adjust this to landscape design right now for Mr. Tim Miller, whoever that is. I don't know, Brandon, if that's one of your clients or not. So speed and the amount of times that you call will beat the best script out there and inconsistent calling. So like I mentioned, I'm making this up on the spot. I have not created a landscape script in a while. So hi, lead name. Okay, we'll use Brandon for example. Hi, Brandon, this is James. I'm calling because you were recently on our Florida landscaping page, whatever the page is called, Florida backyard design page. I like to say Facebook page. It keeps it simple. People probably don't remember the Facebook page or the ad name. They just know they were on Facebook recently. They might even still be on their phone. I'm calling because you were on our Facebook page a minute ago. I've had clients literally tell my appointment setters, oh, I'm still on the page right now. It's hilarious. The older they are, the more likely that is. They're like, oh, I'm still looking at it right now. It's on my computer screen. So you were on our Facebook page a minute ago and have requested information on our backyard design program, or our backyard design estimate, I should say, our backyard design estimate. And I wanted to confirm some information that you had filled out. I see here that you are looking for a retainer wall around your pool. Is that correct? Yep, I'm looking for a retainer wall. Okay, awesome, great. And I see here that you also were looking for us to plant shrubberies, I guess, plant flowers around the retainer wall as well. And you had did you have a specific flower that you wanted? And then maybe they have an actual specific flower they want on the thing that they listed. If that's like a question, I'm pretending like these are questions on the leads. And maybe the flowers they specifically want are dandelions or whatever, dandelions, however you say it. And so I see here also you're looking to have dandelions planted around them. And so now we're confirming the information and we're following whatever the lead is. Now, if it's a short form lead and it's name, phone number, email, it's going to go directly to appointment versus asking these questions. I want to preference that. If there's no questions other than a name, phone number, email, you're going to skip all this confirmation and you're going to go directly to booking the appointment after the intro. So after you confirm the stuff, you also want to confirm their phone number. Even though you're calling them, they could be on a separate phone. They could be on their wife's phone. You want to make sure you have the right phone number. You can say, is this the best number to reach you at? Or I see here that you listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that the best number to reach you at? Yep, you got it right now. All right, great. And then I'm making this up on the fly, so give me a second here. Okay, great. What I would like to do is set up a time when our landscape design specialist, Tim Miller, will have a call with you. So if it's a Zoom call or if it's let me back up, not a call. Landscape is going to be in person. So, okay, great. What I would like to do is to set up a time when our landscape design specialist, Tim Miller, can meet with you at your home. And then so this landscape design is going to have an address. Just for clarity and confirmation, I see here that your address is 123 Main Street. Is that correct? Now we're going to confirm the address after we're letting them know someone's coming out to the house, not before. I like to do it as we're confirming when someone's coming to the house. Yep, that's my address. We take it a step further in case someone is quote unquote messing or trolling us. We'll actually look up that house on Zillow. If that house doesn't exist on Zillow, we're going to say something to them, or we will actually cancel the appointment. We'll cancel the call. We don't want to have our landscape person, for this example, Tim Miller, going out to the house and it's not a real address. People will put fake addresses. People are sick and weird on Facebook and they have nothing better to do than waste someone's time. And the last thing I want to have to do is have to send a client out to someone's house and it's not even a real address. That looks really bad on my part. So we're confirming the address. Looks good on Zillow. Okay, great. Tim has 3 o'clock available tomorrow. Does that work for you? Yep, that's great. Okay, once again, your landscape specialist name is Tim Miller. Now, Tim, if you're listening to this, something that I used to do, and this wasn't even part of my presentation that I remember that I did as an insurance agent, I actually had like a name tag. And believe it or not, this helps with credibility when you show up to someone's house. Tim's going to have a lanyard or a name tag on, so that way you know it's exactly him tomorrow. This helps with your elderly clients for in-person appointments when someone's coming to their house. I know with my parents, I wouldn't want someone come to their house that they don't even know who it is, like without the person confirming their name. And so that way they're not getting taken advantage of. That way they can trust the person, I should say. And so once you're confirming it, okay, great. What I'm going to do is get you scheduled. You should receive a text message in a little bit. Once again, Tim's the landscape specialist. His name is Tim Miller. He'll be there tomorrow at Monday or Saturday at 3:00. Take care. Bye-bye. How was that, Brandon, on the fly, creating a script for landscaping?
I like it, man. That last part is very powerful. I've never thought about like, hey, describing yourself, like that you're gonna have a lanyard, or have your name tag with you when you show up. That's important. I never thought of that because I never answer the door when there's random people knock on my door.
Yeah, especially for people that are doing face-to-face appointments. I think
Mhm.
the importance of something that says your name. Oh my gosh, I literally would print out a picture of me, and this is we're having fun right now, and we're in like the home stretch, so I want to have fun as well. I took a picture of me, and what was it? It was like me wearing like Jordans, and it was like me in just like a regular shirt, and there was like nothing professional about it. And I would wear that on my lanyard, and I said, I'm gonna wear this until someone finally notices, because I would show people, and they're not that people. This goes back to perceived value. People aren't even looking; they're just like, oh, this dude has a lanyard. I'd be like,
He's got
hey,
a clipboard. He's got a clipboard. He's important.
dude, anytime I sold insurance in the hood, they always thought I was a cop because I had a lanyard and a clipboard. I'm like, are cops just going around with lanyards and clipboards? Because I've never seen that. But when I was selling insurance in like the hood, they'd be like, "Oh, the police, 50, 50," and like, I'm
People
like,
bolting out the back, like, I'm just
yo,
here to sell insurance.
I'm the insurance guy. I'm probably here to help your mom or grandmother.
It's funny.
So Tim, hopefully you got something out of that. Remember, Tim, you heard it first in Brandon's group here. And whatever Brandon's offering with these trainings, make sure to definitely take him up on it.
Real quick, James.
Yeah.
Let me add one last thing to that last slide. So, in person or phone call, I don't recommend scheduling a Zoom call because you're going to get a lower booking rate because there is a hassle or perceived hassle to doing a Zoom call. Like you, at least on the first contact, because people have to get dressed up, they have to put clothes on, I guess. But anybody will do a phone call. Like phone calls, it's quick, just pick up your phone. But with a Zoom call, there's preparation. I have to be in front of my computer. Like, what if I'm out on the road or I'm at work? I can't be in front of my computer. So you're going to open up your options if you just do either the phone call or the in-person. The in-person, because some industries require that. You can't quote somebody a new lawn, if you're not at their house.
Yep.
But like a mortgage or real estate, just get the phone call. Don't try to do a Zoom call in that first touch.
Agreed. I see Tim's comments and stuff, so good to know Tim's stuck with us and is here still. So I'll give you some additional stuff, Tim, that can help out. If you do have a contractor's license, when you're creating your name tag or your lanyard, because some landscape design companies are also contractors as well, and they have contractor licenses, make sure to put your contractor license on there, so that way you can show it to someone and you can say, hey, when you get to the door, especially this is really important for people that are older. Hey, this is Tim Miller. You spoke to my assistant Betsy yesterday, and she told you that I was going to be here at 3:00. Well, here I am for an appointment. I have here my contractor's license, and also this is me right here. This is what it looks like when I'm not ready for a photo. People laugh. It's kind of funny, and I'll actually give it to people. Like if it's like a license, I'll actually give it to people, and it builds trust and rapport. I don't want to get too far into the sales process, but I did want to cover that with in-person appointments that can kind of help out. So now we're on to the home stretch. And so with your appointment setter, you're going to be implementing and monitoring. So it's time to breathe a little bit. It's time to review the performance of our person. How are they doing? How many calls are getting made hourly, daily, weekly? What are they saying on the calls? So what I say to everyone that we work with, we are an extension of your service. We represent our companies. We work with corporate lenders. We work with big time players in the mortgage industry currently. These are guys that have all kinds of different people involved, and it's definitely different for me than working with a solo loan officer when I start working with a corporate lender. So they want to be accurately represented. When I'm not going to say the name of the company, but this is a company that is very big in the mortgage space. We're representing that company when we're calling. Now, we're not acting on behalf, but if we are out there and we're like, oh, hey, screw you, and it's like that comes back to our client, that looks bad. So you want to make sure the person that's making the phone calls for you is accurately representing the company that you're working with, or your clients, we'll call it for today's masterclass. So you want to review the appointments. And I put here, what you measure improves. The data does not lie. What's even better than that is data has no opinions. Data does not care if you're the best appointment setter in the world in your own mind, or you think you have the best scripts. Data says, hey, guess what? Yesterday, Johnny, questioned everything that we did, and Johnny said that he knows how to improve the process, but Johnny made 50 calls and scheduled one appointment. Data says, hey, Susie over in the Philippines took action. She, used the script that was provided. She made 250 calls and she scheduled 15 to 20 appointments. It's like data will tell you that stuff.
Yeah.
And so if you don't measure the data, you don't really know what's going on in your business. Super crucial.
And I've heard people express concern over the accent, like if they're calling people in America with an accent, and my experience hasn't been the case.
The only man, I don't want to filter out people that are thinking that right now, because that could be an inexperienced thing. But I will tell you this, the only people that worry about accents are agency owners, marketers. Marketers are the only people that worry about accents when they themselves probably have never called their clients leads. I can't tell you early on how many people wanted all these call recordings of my people. And it's like, dude, you're not even calling the leads for your clients right now, and your clients aren't calling their leads right now. It's like, I'll put a broken English person, insert any country, India, Philippines, Pakistan. There's probably the more stronger, with Philippines being the least of them, against your grass-fed American Iowa, wrestler, has the best speaking English ever, that sits and overthinks making the phone call any day of the week. I'll put him against a Filipino that's making $3 to $4 an hour.
You will get better results in the Philippines than you would in India, though.
Oh, 100%.
In many cases. Just, I do want to iterate that, like,
yeah, exactly.
But it'll be marginally different over between the Philippines and the US. They're a very westernized country in the Philippines.
Yep. Yeah, I live in South America. People always ask me about Colombia. We were doing some stuff in Colombia. Yes, people in Colombia probably have less of an accent than the Philippines. For the sake of today's presentation, I want to focus on the Philippines. Anything that I'm doing internally for my clients, I do for my clients before I go out to the marketplace. So people might be wondering, like, why does James live in Colombia, but he uses Filipinos? Well, we're doing both is the answer, but we're doing for our in-house. I want to get the data before I just go out there and offer something. That's the problem with a lot of the marketplace. People are offering stuff and it's either made up results or stuff they haven't done, or something they just learned and they don't know if it's going to work for their client. So anything that we are currently doing, we're doing in-house with our paid clients, to then when you guys, whoever signs up, you guys are signing up for a service now where, and I'm saying you guys, someone that signs up with us now, I should say, they sign up and they're signing up and they're like, wow, James's team is going to text our leads and they're going to call the leads and they're going to do appointment call reminders. Well, yeah, because we've tested that for our current clients and we know that it works. So just know that the data is involved in that. That's why I mentioned that. Right. So assessment and action plan. I also want to mention, and I did not put this slide in there. I actually forgot. So apologies. You want to use Remitly when you pay your people. Don't use PayPal. Use Remitly. If you want a link, I have a special link for Remitly that we can use for your people. And so Remitly is going to allow for the direct money to go to the person. PayPal takes a fee from you, the business owner, and they also take a fee from the person in the Philippines. PayPal is like the devil, is what I say. So for assessment and action plan, assessment, we're going to create a training approach and a plan for your VA. You want to give a company background of your virtual assistant. So for Tim, if you've been in the business of landscape design for 10 years, then you can say to your person, hey, you know what, your VA, we've been in the landscape design company now for over 10 years. We've serviced clients all over the Franklin, Tennessee area. I'm just saying Franklin, Tennessee, because I'm thinking of it right now. And we've been working with our clients for the past 10 years and providing exceptional service. You're basically not selling, but you're informing your virtual assistant of like the company they're working for. So the action plan, you're going to create a new hire training plan and material. This will help as a training guide of what to expect as your virtual assistant, what they can expect working for you. You want to create material for the VA training once the training approach and plan are received and the tools that they're going to use. So I want to focus less on this and more on, what was discussed earlier. So how are we looking time-wise, Brandon? Can you hear me still? We're doing good?
Yeah, everything's solid. I'm just checking my notes here with
Awesome. So kind of been wrapping up, guys. Also I had to switch areas real quick. That's so weird how it's not working. There we go. Performance management being the next part. You want to review your appointment setters' numbers and their data. You also want to go over the internal process with how they're doing. You want to do call reviews with them. And you also want to monitor the time doctor screenshots to make sure that they're actually working for you during working hours. Call and number reviews. So listening to call recordings and performance reviews. Lead response time, how fast are they responding to the lead when the lead comes in? Lead follow-up numbers. So that's going to be how many follow-ups are they doing? So one thing that we discovered with Brandon was, increasing the follow-ups equals more appointments, but at a certain point, it just becomes irrelevant. We do 10 follow-ups per lead with our clients. We will once in a while add an extra follow-up. Will we generate extra appointments? Absolutely. But on average, we find 10 to be that magic number. So you want to review the numbers. Appointments booked versus leads generated, you will look at. So, how many appointments were booked? How many leads did you actually generate for your client? And so you can break that down into a percentage. So in closing, feedback and review. This will be more detailed with your appointment setter based on their performance. And it's going to be more in depth since you now have some more information to go off of at this point. We do feedback at 30 days and 90 days. This, of course, can be done sooner. If all is followed properly, you will not need to be given feedback every single day. Trust me, no one wants to hear every single day feedback. Assessment and action plan. So we do a 30-day and 90-day action plan for a timeline of what is expected for your virtual assistant and appointment setter. Performance reviews and possible pay increases, as well as bonus based on performance. We will do a 30-day review. I like to treat the 30-day review as an official welcome board to my business call. And I like to do a 90-day probation period review, which is mostly increasing their pay, giving them health insurance benefits, time off, things like that. Slides are crazy today. So anyone here that needs extra help there, you've watched this training, you've listened to some things that me and Brandon have discussed. We have a done for you agency we've done for the past 2 to 3 years. and we know every nook and cranny of what it's like calling leads for clients and what it's like growing and scaling an appointment setting team, which is why I want to make my team and myself available for a call and to use as an additional resource to help you making this out in this journey. So we do have we have a program that we are testing. We're working with our clients right now, and it's 6 weeks long. And we're going to walk you through the whole process of what was discussed in this about an hour-long call and helping train you and your team and building your appointment setter in-house call center. This is a done with you format. So over the course of 6 weeks, we will have 2 calls a week. It's 12 calls total. It is with my team, my appointment setters in the Philippines, and it will also be helping you train and hire a person in your business. So it is everything from root and branch, the root being online jobs, the tree being your whole entire team. So our agency also calls leads on a done for you basis. So if you have like a one-off client that needs leads called, but you're not, scaled yet in your business, we have an appointment setting agency that I've been a part of for the past 2 to 3 years. So just shoot me a message. It's the best way to get in contact with me. I'll send you my calendar link, and then we will set something up. On top of that, just to add a little bit more, if you want everything I discussed and you want to read it in a book form as well, shoot me a message, and then I'll send you a quick payment link. I'm charging $10 for the book right now, and then you can get a copy of my book. The $10 will also include shipping and will include the cost of the book, and I'll send you a copy of my book. It's going to cover everything I talked about, as well as some extra stuff if you like to read book and you don't happen to watch and want to watch this whole entire training. So that is everything from me for the day. Brandon, I don't know if we have any questions inside the group, but if anyone has any questions, I don't know if any were asked at all, or if we want to hang around for questions, or if you have any questions, Brandon, I want to, make myself available to answer anything.
The only thing I was going to comment is there are different needs or different people, different businesses. You don't consider yourself, correct me if I'm wrong, as like an like a placement agency. Like you don't go and get VAs, and there are people that do that, very good at it. And I actually work with some of them, but everybody has different needs in their businesses. What you're talking about is actually going and hiring your own person and bringing them in-house and building a call center inside your company. And I've worked with agencies, very good agencies that, handle all the hiring process and training, and then, work with you. I've worked with both, and they're both fantastic. So both business models. So I just want to make that clarification. Like James is not a placement agency. He's not here to
yeah, we don't do placing. Instead, what we do is we rather teach people how to hire. What happens with placing is if the person doesn't work out in the business, it could lead into an unmet expectation. If the person wants to learn how to do it themselves, now all of a sudden they have to learn how to do it, and they just have a person in their business. It's also, what I call, I try not to play matchmaker. Some people in their business are going to get along with someone else that they hire from the start versus someone that just comes into their business that they paid some service for. So I try to stay away from placing. Could I do that? Could I probably charge a lot more and place people in business? Sure. But the problem is the business owner did not really develop or train the person in their specific way. So we like to train the person in the specific way of the business owner's needs and their standard operating procedures.
So I do have a question on the hiring process. So in your experience, how many leads can an individual VA support before you need to hire another one? Like, how does that typically work out?
Yeah, you got really good questions that you're asking right now. Give me a second to think about that. How many leads can an individual VA handle before you need to hire another person? So the answer really depends on the response time. If you're okay with letting the response time go, then that's fine. If you're okay with 10 minutes or even 20, 30 minutes or within an hour, the number increases based upon the response time. Just for sticking with this,
still with 5, because 5 minutes is like the magic number, I think.
So really it's going to be, man, there's so many dependents. I'm trying to not just give a direct answer because there's so many things. If people
There's a
aren't
lot of
picking up,
variables,
yeah,
but a
if
high
people aren't,
low, a high low is fine.
yeah, I would say if you're averaging around, I think an hour will be right. If you're averaging around 5 to 10 leads an hour, there's going to be follow-ups involved. A lot of people aren't going to pick up the phone the first call. So I would say if you're averaging around 5 to 10 leads an hour, so what is that? We'll go five times 10. So if you're averaging around 50 leads a day, I would say is when you need to have another person.
So in my specific circumstance, say like a client is getting 3 to 5 leads a day,
That's
more than manageable.
more than manageable for one person. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
that's even
you would venture to say maybe they could support a couple of clients, maybe
absolutely.
at 3 to 5 leads a day.
Three to
Okay.
five leads, 3 to 5 leads a day. You should be able to support probably at least 5 to 10 clients right there.
Oh wow. Okay, that's significant. Uh,
Yeah.
talk to me about warm transfers. Like I know you talked about
Yeah.
inbound calls, people coming in, calling in and at this point, requiring a third party piece of software, like a dialer, to
Mhm.
receive those inbound calls. Because right now GHL cannot.
Yep.
How does that work or do you even do live transfers?
Yeah. So good question. I know the word gets thrown around a lot. Warm transfers, live transfers. The way that we do and the way that
I
we've
guess
done.
first of all, clarify for people who don't know what a live transfer is.
Yeah, live transfer is when someone is sending you an interested person to your phone. So I love it when expectations are set. Everything goes back to expectations in business, life, relationships, everything. If you set an improper expectation and you do not meet that expectation, it leads to a resentment on the other person's part or unfulfilled thing that you've said. So I'll break down what we did with Brandon when we onboarded his clients with live transfer stuff. What we do, and Brandon probably doesn't even remember this at this point, maybe he does. What we do is we actually test the live transfer with our client. So we make sure the client's on the phone. We'll actually do a test live transfer. We'll have that person save the phone number as live transfer, pick up the phone, whatever you want to call it. And then we also ask the person, hey, what hours are you available that you know that you can pick up a live transfer? And so that's where a lot of people go wrong is they will start doing live transfers and the client didn't even agree to that or the client doesn't even have the capacity.
Make sure you clarify up front.
Well, that's like
Yeah.
90% of people, man. If someone is hiring, get this. So if someone is hiring you to call their leads, they probably don't have the capacity to handle a live transfer. So it's like,
That's a good point. Yeah.
yeah,
Just the only reason I bring it up is because I know, like, as one of my competitors, which is like Quicken Loans, I think that they actually sell live transfers, like $120 per live transfer or something like that. So, like, I'm
yeah,
thinking about the practicality. Some LOs would want something like that, others would not. Like, some don't want appointments, period. They're just like, hey, just call me.
yeah.
So obviously,
Everyone
I guess
says,
I'm thinking of, go ahead.
everyone says, call me until like they don't ever.
They get called and they're like on the pod or something,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
Well, that's everything for me. I think went over a little bit longer than I had planned, and I appreciate everyone being
You're good,
patient with
man.
technical stuff. And Brandon, I appreciate this, man.
Well, one more question. Not a problem, dude. I'm
Sure.
glad to have you back on here. Tony Epright asks, what about time zone differences? Do you have any issues calling during US business hours?
Great question. I'm glad you asked that. So what we do is we call from 9 o'clock until 7 o'clock every time zone. So 9 o'clock to 7 EST, 9 o'clock to 7 CST, 9 o'clock to 7 MST, 9 o'clock to 7 PST. Um, are we legally able to call later? Absolutely. But what we've discovered at scale is that when you call, we actually noticed diminished returns in appointment booking when we called after a certain hour. So,
Maybe
could we call?
dinner. Yeah, dinner time.
We've tested 9 to 8. We've tested 9 to 7. We find 9 to 7 to be like the happy medium point. It also allows us to call, technically speaking, working hours, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock EST, but we're only calling 9 to 7. I say 9 to 10 EST. because we're calling California at until 7. And yeah, so hopefully that answered your question there. I think it was Tony's name.
I think it was more circled around the time zone difference between the Philippines and the US.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, so with Filipinos, they're used to working with the Western world, so they have no problem, working late in our time, so to speak.
Yeah, my assistant works my business hours, so
Yep.
that's just again clarification upfront expectations. Just let them know like, hey, that's part of it. I actually put that in the job description, like, hey, this is 9 to 5 Central Standard Time, US time. So yes, it can be done, but clarify upfront.
Yep.
Any more questions? Let me just refresh this once. Cool, awesome, thanks. We'll give it a couple more minutes for some questions to come through because this is huge value for people. Like
Yeah,
this is something that
absolutely.
you'd pay for. This is a class.
Absolutely. I'm actually gonna while we wait, I'm just gonna run to the
Mhm.
bathroom real quick. I will
Sure.
be
Don't
right
don't take
back.
us with you though.
No, I'm
We
not,
don't we don't
not
want
gonna
to
take
see
you guys
that.
with me,
We don't
but
want to
I
see
will
your
be right.
junk, man. Cool. So just to sort of recap what James went over, when you're hiring a VA, use that job description with the word in the subject line. So like avocado, make sure that you're getting somebody who's detail oriented, who reads between the lines. That's one of the steps you can do to have a relatively long description, but include in there somewhere hidden to put the word avocado in the subject line in the response. Have them do uh, a quick video introduction of themselves and why they're good for the job. I think that's a great way to determine their level, their quality level of their English, their understanding and grasp of the English language, how they present themselves, how well they can follow instructions, and it will also test their technology out and make sure that all their tech is working, their camera works, and everything, so that they can make Zoom calls. Funny story with my first VA I hired. I never actually did a interview. The process that I put her through to actually get hired was enough for me to be like, yeah, she's good to go. And her communication with me was spot on. So we never actually did an in-person interview. It was just more like, hey, send me the recording, follow all these instructions, and that was sort of like my hiring funnel. So it it filters out 95% of the people who shouldn't be on the phone with you. So uh, getting somebody detail oriented is important. Um, and then going through training them, having SOPs in place, having a spreadsheet that all the leads go in there, and then having the updates for when they actually make the phone calls. GHL has built-in call tracking and call recording. So there is a stat screen that will show you how long the average call is, how many dials have been done that day, who is the top caller. You could even create little competitions if you have more than one dialer on your team. You can enable or disable the call recording in GHL. Some clients have a preference to that. I always recommend that they record the calls, but if they're not comfortable with that, then you can turn it off. But yeah, that's basically the process. James, we were just kind of going over the process in general, like summarizing what you went over and just adding my 2 cents to it.
I saw Tony. I think the replay will be inside the group. I assume Brandon keeps the
Yeah,
recordings.
we'll clean it up a little bit.
Cool. Tim asked about pay. I go low. I go really, really low. I guess you could call me cheap. I know that might sound like what James talking about. I go really low because I want them to prove themselves, and then I give big raises after they've proved themselves. What I've found is I've had people that tell me they're the best appointment setter in the world. They have experience with solar. They've called for every niche before. They want to start out at $5 an hour, and they show up and they suck. And then what I found is the people that prove themselves and are looking to grow with a company and prove themselves will work hard and they'll prove themselves. So when I say I go low, I've started as low as 2. I've started as low as $3 an hour. We're talking right now. And then 30 days in, I give a 50-cent raise. 90 days in, they give another 50-cent raise. So that could be the difference between making, $3 or $4 an hour. And then the benefits I give, I think will beat any company out there. I will take care of 3 levels of their family. I'll take care of their parents. I'll take care of their kids if an emergency happens and they need money. And that's after 90 days. 90 days in, most people, the likelihood that you're going to get taken advantage of is just so far few between. They'll already have tried to pull a con on you within the first 30 days if they're trying to scam you. And it's just not that often that kind of stuff even happens. Well, I should say, as you learn what I just showed you, that kind of stuff will not happen as often. And then I also will help them with internet expenses. I will help with, I'm giving you more than less right now. So 2 years in, I will do $1,000, up to $1,000, 0% interest loan.
Snap. That's interesting.
So yeah, they can take a loan from me for up to $1,000 and they will pay 0% interest. I just had a girl ask me for $200.
Bank of James, Bank
Yeah.
the Baskin, Bank of Baskin.
After 2 years,
Yeah.
that,
You built that trust. Yeah. And so I need to get who you go do your health insurance through. I'd like to offer insurance to my girls. If yeah, I'll hit you up.
Sure.
And then 13th month pay. We never mentioned that, but I do that for my assistant. There's a tradition in the Philippines that like right before Christmas time that you pay them an extra month of pay on top of their base pay. And so that's 13th month. That's what I think it's called 13th month or extra month or something like that. Or but it's a tradition. And I try to honor the tradition on that. And then, days off, paid time off, just having that an expectation, understanding up front.
Oh yeah, paid time off. I'll do, and then I was thinking so much about pay, I wasn't even thinking about the benefits. I'll do paid time off. I'll do sick days with paid, and then it's required that they give me a doctor's note, and then I will also help pay for their vacation. So I'll actually, when it's like their paid vacation, I'll actually give them some money for their vacation. I won't pay for the whole vacation, but I'll pay for their hours while they're off, and I'll actually give them some money so they can enjoy that money on their vacation.
That's interesting. And you use that software to track hourly, to pay people hourly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting. Because I just do base. I just do like a base pay. It's like a salary. But my girl is different. It's not. She's the one I have in the Philippines. We don't. She doesn't do calling for me. It's all like technical back end stuff, and so she's good at managing her own time. I really don't need to micromanage her. That was very.
Yep.
I was lucky with my first hire. So. But yeah, let's see any other questions here. Let me refresh the
I do have to run in a
page.
couple minutes.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today and share your knowledge. This is all gold, I think, for anybody looking to hire a VA. Have an in-house kind of call center going. So
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me.
what's the best way people to get a hold of you if they want to get in contact?
Yeah, so either outsourcekings.com with an S on the end of it, outsourcekings.com, or add me on Facebook. Brandon's got me in here, James King Baskin. Shoot me a friend request if you're watching this and you have additional questions. Shoot me a message on Messenger, and then we can chat a little bit, and then set up a call.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah. Have a good one, James. Take care,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
so much. Take care, Yavo.